Good morning, everyone. It's Bobby at the Paper Jungle. I have a new project to share with you this morning. This is a paper collection by, let me see, Hatfield is her name. Let me see. Jen Hatfield. And it's this paper pad called Heart and Home. I've had this for a really long time. It's got really pretty papers in it. Mostly browns, pinks, some grays. But it's all about family and home. And since we're looking forward to moving in the next few months, I thought it would be nice to have an album ready to go to document leaving the old place and moving to the new one. So this is what I made. This one I'm going to keep myself. Most of them I give away. But this one, I just really like the size of it. The cover is 6.5 by 6.5. I've added some flowers here and used the gingham paper on the front. I have the floral on the side and the gingham on the back, and I put the year 2019. This is part of the collection. And the 9 is shorter than the rest of them. It's at the bottom of the page, and it didn't have the same margin at the bottom, so I used this little sticker to cover up that imperfection. There wasn't anything I could do about it other than that. So here's the front. These covers are flowers. Some of them are Poppy's Papery from this one is Poppy's Papery from Hobby Lobby. This one is Petaloo, and that one I think is, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, this is one of the cut-aparts on the front, and it says, "A house is made of wood and stone, but only love can make it a home." And I thought that was so pretty. So on the inside of my album, now I'm calling this the crisscross album because each of my pages has a crisscross, and you'll see that as I pull the cut-aparts out. On the inside, I just have a single pocket. On the cover, I have one of the stickers here. This one says, "We are family. Home is not a place, it's a feeling." And this one says, "Collect moments, not things." So I just added those to the pocket, and you can put pictures or journaling on the back of each one. I've backed them with cardstock. Now on page 1, make sure I'm still in frame here. On page 1, yeah, I'm in the right place. I have a sticker down here on the pocket with a little tag. It says "Celebrate Together." And this is a seam binding that comes from Country Craft Creations. In the first half of the crisscross, I just added a little strip of the paper. This is one, just a photo mat I made out of the scraps and some cardstock. And then in the back side of the pocket, see how it makes a crisscross? And then I just have some of the other paper in the back. And I made 2 photo mats. And you can journal, put photos on them, whatever. They're really good size. This one goes in the front crisscross, and this one goes behind the sticker. And then in each one you have a pull-out. It's a side pocket, and I have a mat on both sides, a journaling spot and a photo spot. Put it back in here where it goes. These are good size. The cut-aparts are like 5.5 by 5 3/4, I think, but I'll have all the measurements and everything posted for you. And then on the back of each page I have a flap, another space for a photo mat here, and then one of the cut-aparts that says "We are family," and I put the stickered love on there, and I made 2 photo mats. Then on page 2, I had to see which one I was on. I put a little envelope on the front, and this is one of the, it's kind of hard to get a hold of, it's sunk down in there, one of the little cards and envelope sets that come from Hobby Lobby, and I just made a little booklet out of it and put the envelope on the front. Then in the pocket, I have another cut-apart, and it's blank on the back, or a photo mat, not a cut-apart. I made a lot of photo mats for this one. So that one goes in there. And then the pull out on this one says we are family. Room for large, and it's loose so that you can put something under it, and that's the back side. And the sticker's getting hung up there. There we go. Okay, and on the back side of that, each page is basically the same orientation with a flap on the back. This one has an embossed gold leaf design on it. It's really pretty. And then on the inside I have one of the little stickers, another photo space here. And then here's a large photo space. So that's page 2. And on page 3 I have the same verse that I have on the front. A little tag that says Grateful Heart. This photo mat on white. And this one I think is plain as well. Yeah, and it's on green cardstock. I have a lot of cardstock in my stash and I'm trying to use some of it up. And we'll tuck this back here. And then the pull out on this one is in browns and pinks. And a little blue gray color on the back. I'll be able to get a lot of photos in this, I think. Okay, and the back side of that one, 2 more photo mats and 2 cut aparts here. This one says Choose Joy and this one says Thankful for You. The papers themselves are single-sided, they're not double-sided. I didn't realize that when I bought this collection. But when you get the cut apart sheet, it's double-sided. So I don't know why they did that. It's kind of silly. But anyway, whatever works. Then on page 4, we have a little tuck spot here. I had added a little eyelet trim that I had in my stash. And we have a photo mat here. And then a pink and white one in the back. See, I can get, and I love this paper here. That's one of my favorites in this collection. There's a little bit of blue in this collection, but not a lot. It's mostly pinks and grays and browns. And on the back side, I have that foiled paper again, and it says Happy Family. So you can get a decent sized photo there. Then on this side, it says Happy Day. And this one says, House plus love makes home. It's got really cute cut aparts in this one. And then you've got a large space for a large photo or 2 smaller ones, or a small photo and a journaling spot. Then on the last page I have this tag that says Blessed. And this one says Home is not a place, it's a feeling. And then we have a photo mat here, and a larger one in the back. This album is really easy to create, and if you'll stay tuned following this walkthrough, you can see the tutorial and all the measurements and exactly how I created this. And I have all the measurements that I'll post. By the time this is up, the measurements should be posted as well. And then this is the last pull out. It has a little heart here and another heart back here. And then on the back side, I really like this one. I used a little mini punch board, envelope punch board. I got it from Tamara over at Country Craft Creations. I'd looked everywhere for it and I couldn't find it at any of the stores because I kept thinking I'd find it and use a 40 or 50% off coupon. But I couldn't find one, so I ordered it from Tamara, and I made this little envelope with just a little insert. And it just, I don't know if I can get it going here. There it is. And it just tucks behind this little envelope. This one is glued shut and I put a little bow on it. And then the larger one says We Are Family. And it also has just a plain cardstock in there for a photo or journaling, and it tucks behind the pink one. know if I can get it back there. There we go. And then the back cover is pretty much like the front cover. I have 3 cut-aparts in there, all backed on cardstock. So you see there's plenty of places for journaling, photographs, all kinds of things in here. So I really like this album, and this is one I'm going to keep for myself. I think I may go back in here and add some little strips of the cardstock. But I don't see myself using this paper collection again, simply because I bought it just to make an album for when we do move. So if anybody would like to have what's left of this collection, which is quite a bit, I've still got some stickers, a lot of paper in the 12 by 12, and I also have a lot in the 6 by 6 pad. So I'll be glad to send that to anybody who wants it. So the first person that asks for this, I will be glad to send it to you. Alright, thanks for watching. You have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Bobby. I am starting a new album today. This one I'm making for myself, but I thought I'd go ahead and film the process. I have made this particular design as a card many times before, but never as an album. So I thought it was a neat idea, and I'd give it a try. If it doesn't work out, I can scrap the video and toss it, but let's hope it does. So here we go. I'm going to use the brown artisan cardstock from Country Craft Creations, and I'm going to use the paper called Heart and Home, and I believe it's a fairly old collection. I bought this a while back because we kept thinking we were going to move, never did find the right house. So my daughter and her husband think we'll be moving in the next 3 months. So I decided I better get an album made so I can document leaving the old house, the actual moving day, and going to the new house. So I have the paper collection, and I have these stickers. And I'm not sure if I got these from Tammy or where I got them. I may have. But they're by Jen Hatfield. And these are thickers from American Crafts. And they say things like Heart of Home, Grow Together, Thankful Heart, Stronger Together. I like this Home Sweet Home. And this one says Love Grows Here. I really like that. And this one says Family Gathering. So I may use one of those. I'm not sure. But these stickers actually go with the paper collection by Jen Hatfield. And I've got the 6 by 6, and it has a lot of gold foiling on it, whereas the 12 by 12 doesn't. See, on that one you can see some gold. It's really pretty. So here's the 12 by 12 pack. And it's in a tablet form, which we normally get collections anymore, and not the complete tablet form. But this is, I got too much stuff out here. I'm trying to get it where I can show you the cover. Okay, here's the cover of the paper pad. Has really pretty prints in it. And I have picked out the ones I want to use for my base pages, and then I've got some others pulled out that I'll use for flaps and what have you. Let me lay those aside. So pick out the pages that you want and cut them 6 by 6, and we'll lay the other 6 that have the whatever you call this little banner thing at the top. It needs to be cut off, and that would make this a 6 by 12 as well. I just hadn't cut them yet. So we need 6 pieces, or 5 pieces. I'm going to have 5 pages in my album, and these are the ones I've chosen. This paper pad has a lot of birds and greenery, some pinks, browns, a little bit of blues. They're really pretty. So I thought that'd be pretty for documenting our move. So you'll need 5 pieces that are 6 by 12. And those are going to make the top part of your base page. The bottom part, this is from one sheet of the brown. And I cut 2 pieces of 6 by 12. Oh, 6 by 7, I'm sorry. 2 pieces of 6 by 7, and this is what's left from that 12 by 12. But hang on to that and the pieces left from these, because we'll use those to make flaps and stuff later. So on these 2, you can get 2 of these base pages out of one sheet of cardstock. And where did I put my scoring board? Oh, right there. Can't see it for looking. So your base page is going to be 6 by 7, and you want to lay the 7-inch side at the top and score it. Here's the one I want. At a 1/2 inch. Oops. Hate the scoreboard. It does that. My scoring tool slides out of the groove all the time. But at least it'll be where it doesn't show. So on both of those sides, you want to score it a 1/2 inch. This is the 7 and this is the 6. So let's do the other one. And we'll have 2 base pages. The back side of the base. And I'll cut some more off camera. I just wanted to show you the base page layout so that you can do yours as well. So you'll actually need 5 of these, and I only have 2 right now. Then each one of these 6 by 12s, you're going to score down the center at 6. And this will be the top half of your base page, where the brown will be the bottom. I know it sounds silly, but hopefully it works out like I have it planned in my mind. And this, when it's made in a card, it's called a crisscross card. And I thought, well, why couldn't this be an album page? So I got to looking on the internet, and I found where some people had done crisscross, not in an album, but cards, and they used a whole 12 by 12 sheet, but I thought that would be really bulky to make your page. So I'm going to try it this way, and hopefully it'll turn out like I have it in my... Oh, I need to keep this out a minute. When I score something like this in half, I like to put it up in the corner of my scoreboard and then use my bone folder. That way I make sure the corners match. See, they're perfect. Make sure that one's up there and that one's up there. And it should match perfectly every time. There's 2. 3. Now this paper is single-sided, but that's okay. It's not going to matter because the way we're going to construct it, the back side won't show. I didn't realize it was single-sided when I bought it, but I thought, oh well, I've already got it. I'm going to use it. But just always remember, you can use any paper collection you want. You don't have to use what I'm using, which I doubt very seriously if you can buy this one anymore. I haven't seen it around anywhere. Okay, my camera signaled me that it wanted a new battery, so I went ahead and cut the other 3 and scored them. So we've got 5 of those now, and this is my prototype and exactly what we're going to be doing. This is our 6 by 12. We're going to cut from the fold to the corner, and we're going to save this piece so that we can put it in here and make our crisscross. And then this will be our 6 by 7 with your fold at the top and the bottom. This will give us a place for the hinge, and then this will give us a place for a tag or an insert. So we'll have 1, 2, 3 places for inserts. So that'll give me enough places to put pictures from the old house, moving day, and the new house. So this is the top part that we want to cut. So we're going to put the score line right in the cutting track all the way down to the point. Let me make sure I've got my fold in there. It's kind of hard to see with a white background. And It a lot of times works better if you start your blade in the center, because if you try to start at the corner, sometimes it'll pull on that corner and kind of crimp it up a little bit. So I'm going to cut this, and that'll make the first half of the fold, and we're going to do that to all 5. But I'm not going to use this one in here. I want to switch them up. I'll use this maybe with one of the pinks or the brown. I want to switch them up so these are different. So I'm going to lay these aside and this over here. Now we'll do this one the same way. Put your fold in the cutting track and your point at the other end. I got a new blade in this and it's kind of stiff. Okay, I think we're good there. So there's that one. See, now it might work good. I might like that better with the flowers. Yeah, I'm not as crazy about those two together, but we'll figure it out as we go along. Now here's the blue with the daisies on it. And get it in our cutting track. Okay. Almost that one. See what that looks like with this one. Might look better with one of the pink ones in it. We'll see as we go along, but I've got other papers too, so we can mix them and match as we go. Here's our 4th one of the pinks. It's hard to see on these light colors. Forgive me if I get my big old head in the middle. I try not to get this up in here. There's that one. And then I think the brown will look good with one of these pinks. Because it's got just a little pink stripe running through it. Where's my fold? Right there. Goodness, got a dry throat. Okay, there's 5. Excuse me, let me get a drink. Get rid of that tickle. Okay, let's see. I like those two together. And that's going to leave the birds going upside down. Although the nest is not going to show very much, so I think it'll be okay. But I like those two together. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that's pretty together. I don't really like that one together. I like it better with this one though. Put this one in here. Once we get it decorated, I think we'll like it. And that will be number 5. So there's your 5 base pages. Now let's score these. Or burnish them, I should say. There's 2. Should go this way. Got something on my fingers on that one. A little glue maybe. And the last one. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this base card and we're going to line these up. Oh, this is top. We're going to glue it to the top, but do a dry fit first and make sure you're okay. Make sure it matches out to the corners, and if you have any overage, you can trim it off at this end. And it looks like I may have just a little, but I'm going to go ahead and glue it down just to be safe. But I do want to miter these corners just a little tad. I don't like that brown hanging out at all. So I'm just going to take the tiniest little snip off so we have a nice clean corner. And let's get some art glitter. Ouch! Don't stick yourself in the finger, stupid. I need to fill this bottle, I know that for sure. And we're going to put some art glitter glue on here. Not on the outside. And then we're going to match this corner up here. Right up with the edge. Nice and straight across the top. And make it one of my wipes. And got a little high on it. It's alright. I'll just trim a little hair off. And then this will go down to here. So we'll match it up at the bottom. It looks like I'm going to have a little over. I may not have cut it just straight.
Shut up before I eat
grandson messing with the dog. Okay, so I have a little bit extra down here. Hush pepper, and I'll just trim it off. Just a hair. Get my scissors straight. Okay. I'm going to trim this off just a hair. Okay. Now let's take our I think I want the coffee brown. I don't want the vintage photo. It sometimes kind of has a orangey tint to it. I should have inked it before I got started. Didn't want to, there it comes. Didn't want to come off. I'm going to catch these ends a little bit. I'll ink the other ones before I put those together. This will take just a tiny tad of glue, and I'm going to snip off this corner so we don't get any bulk when we fold this up. And this is going to go right in that corner, and then we'll fold this over, and we'll have 3 pockets on this one, and then I'm going to cut a piece to go in the back so that we don't have that white background. Just a tiny strip of glue. We don't need much because we want to leave room to put inserts in there. Okay, so we'll match up our bottom corners. And our top corner. It matches up just fine. And then we want just a little bit of glue down here at the bottom, just to close this up. So I'm going to do that with all 5 of them. And see, there's your hinge, there's your pocket. We'll put another piece of decorator paper down in here, and then we'll make flaps and stuff for the back side after we get going. Alright? Alright, I will come back and we'll make the rest of it together once we get these 5 assembled. Okay? I'll talk to you soon. Okay, I'm back, and I want to share with you what I've done so far. I did put 2 of them together, and I decided, for me, in my opinion, they look better with the same one instead of, because when I use something like that, I just think it's too much pattern and too much busyness. But that's just my opinion. If you like it that way, then make it that way because it's your album. So I have 2 of them put together. And then on the back side we can do flips and flaps and floppity-doo-dahs, whatever. So here's what I did. I inked the entire thing. This one hasn't been inked yet. No, it hasn't. And on this paper, it seems to work best to take the pad right to the paper. I did it with a little dauber thingy, and this paper didn't seem to take it very well. And I don't want my white edge to be staring at me. So I'm just going to take the pad right to the paper and just give it a little bit of ink. Now I have to trim this one to 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. And it's got a little serrated edge where it came out of the paper pad, so I'm just going to trim that off. And just a little bit off the bottom. Okay. And then we need one of these, and we want to miter the edges again. Okay, so we've got that. And I'm just using the 6x6 for the insert. And let me get this inked. Plus, I think part of the problem with inking these edges was my ink pad is kind of, or my dauber is getting kind of wore out, and it's kind of shredding every time I try to use it, so I need to put a new little pad on there before I try to use it again. Oh dear, try to keep one for the brown, one for the vintage photo, and one for black. Okay, now this is the piece that tucks inside. And to cut down on any bulk, I'm just going to trim that little point off. So the first thing I want to do is to glue this down to the base. So we're going to add some glue to the top and the bottom. Nope, not coming out very good. I must have left the pin out too long. So let's match up the top and the bottom with the side. And put this down, and it looks pretty good. Got a little overage up here at the top, but I can always trim it off. A little bit right here where it didn't quite match. That's no big deal. And I'll just go back over it with the ink pad. Nobody will be the wiser. Now we want to put this piece down inside, and we want to match it as close to the top as we can. And we've already inked it. Now this step you won't have to do if you have two-sided paper. Most of the papers anymore are double-sided, but for some reason this one isn't. I was really surprised when I opened the paper pack and it wasn't, but you know, it is what it is. But it's not the end of the world. It's something you can work around. I don't want any of that white edge to show. Got it a little too high right there. Okay. Now we want this piece to go in here, just like that. So we're just going to glue the outside edge and the bottom, right like that. Match our corner and our bottom, like that, and then along the right side, so we don't have any white sticking out. Then when you get this all glued down, you can go around your edges again with the ink pad if you feel like you need to, and then a little bit right here along the bottom. Make sure it lines up at the bottom. And it kind of gives you an envelope fold there. But it's really cool. I like the way these are turning out. I'm really pleased with them. So you've got your hinge side here, and you've got your pocket here, and then you have a pocket here and a pocket here. So that, and then whatever flaps we put on the back will be extra. So that'll be cool. And I do want to put some ink down here where my little white edge is apparent. And I'm not going to trim that because that is a fold. Okay, so I've got 3 of them done so far. I think they're turning out pretty darn good. Kind of separate the prints. Those are pretty. Alright, so I'm going to do the other 2, and I'm going to pause the camera while I do those. You can go ahead and make your 5, and then we'll get back together and I will give you the measurements of all the flaps and what have you that I decide to put on it. I'm still in the designing process on that one, but I'll give you all the measurements and we'll do it together. Alright, be back soon. Hi everyone, it's Bobby. I wanted to share with you what I've done so far, and as far as these measurements, you don't have to write any of it down because by the time I have this posted, the cut list will be in the description box with all the measurements. So this is what I'm using for page 1, and like I told you before, I decided to use the same paper for the crisscross. It just seemed to work better for me. And then I used a complementary color for the insert. So this is the back side of what I have for page 1, and then you'll need 5 pieces cut at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8 for the back side of that. And then I cut my flap, which I'm going to score at a 1/2 inch on this long edge, and that will be attached there. And this piece measures 4.5 by 5 7/8, and we'll go there. Now for this brown piece, the flap, I cut mine at 5 by 5 7/8, but depending on what punch you use, if you do use a punch, if it punches deeper, then you'll need to cut this longer. Mine is a very shallow punch. Don't do that, sweetie. Don't want to. Yeah, don't do that. Old great-grandson's visiting and he keeps messing with my keyboard. Leave that be, sweetie. So anyway, that will go here. And you'll need a piece for both sides of this, and I only have one cut out so far. And this is what I have for page 2. And here will be the map for that. And I used two punches. I alternated this one. It's Martha Stewart, and it's called Petals and Fronds. And I alternated it with this other one, and it's called 4-Petal Eyelet. So I used this on page 2 and 4, and this one on 1, 3, and 5. So it will go like that with this one. Okay, see you later. Bye. He's a jabberbox. He's only 2. This is page 3. And you see you've got plenty of room for your inserts. Actually, I have mine cut only so I can get a measurement for my spine. But you'll have an insert here and one here, as well as your side pocket. So this is page 3. And do I have... No, I thought I had it upside down for a minute. And there's the flap with this paper. I tried to make it correspond with the one it faces. This is page 4. Oops, I got both of them together. This will be the mat for 4. And the flap. Like that. And this is page 5. You can put them in any order you want, just whatever is eye-pleasing to you. This will be the mat for that. This is the flap. And this is the mat for that. I still have to cut a mat for the underside of each one of these, but I think what I'm going to do is just use some of my narrow scraps and put a couple of photo mats there. So, okay, see you, bye. He's in and out and in and out. Keep saying see you, bye. Okay, then if you use like a circle or a heart or something that you want to use for your tabs on your pull-outs, your inserts, like this will be an insert. What did I do with that little black piece? I punched one. Anyway, I don't know what I did with it. I must have knocked it on the floor. I'll punch another one. If you use like just a circle or a heart, you'll need to cut 30 pieces because there's 15 inserts total. But if you have a punch like this one that I'm going to use, this is from Stampin' Up. It's an old retired punch. But it punches the front and back at once in one piece, and it just folds together to make your pull tab. So if you have something like this, you'll only need 15. If you have single circles or hearts or squares or some other shape you want to use, then you'll have to put one on the front and one on the back, so you'll need 30. Okay, this is the insert, and it measures 5 3/4 by 5 7/8, and that is for each one of the side pockets. So I'm going to glue my papers down, cut the rest of my pieces, and then I'll come back and do a walk through the finished project. I have to get all of that done in order to get a measurement for my spine, so I know how deep I want my spine to be, so that my album is, the covers are straight when I'm done and it doesn't protrude. Okay, alright, I will be back with you soon and we'll finish this up. Okay, as an afterthought, I thought I better backtrack because I may not have made it clear to everybody what I intend to do with these pages, and there's always new people out there and they may not understand what I was talking about, so I thought I would go ahead and score a couple of these just so that if there's anybody that doesn't understand, I make it clear to everybody what I'm doing. And then if you have a better way of doing it, of course you can do it your way. So I've just tapered these corners and I scored it at 1/2 inch on the long side. And I'm just going to burnish that under. This is the flap that goes on the back side of each base page. So I'm going to burnish that down real good. And I'm going to add a little adhesive to this flap. And I'm going to do this for all 5 pages. This is a very simple and easy album to put together, and it goes together really, really quick. So if you have an occasion where you need a gift quickly, this is an easy one to do. I've turned it over. This is the top, and it is going to go along this edge right here. Just line it up with the top and the bottom. And burnish it down. You want to put that on before you do your designer paper. And then this piece will go here, and that'll cover up that seam. And this one will go on top. And I cut it to fit with a 1/2 inch, so I'm going to have to take a 1/2 inch off of it. Remember I showed you and I had cut it to fit before I scored it, so I'll have to take a 1/2 inch off. Let me do that real quick. Where's my little cutter? And I did that on every one of them. I wasn't even thinking about that turn down that I have to do. To turn that off. Oh, darn it. There. I fixed it. So let me take a 1/2 inch off of this, just so that you can see. And I'll have to score it again. Or ink it, I mean. And I put it back up here on my shelf. Ah, this ink pad is so hard to get open. There. This paper, for some reason, is difficult to take the ink, and I have to take the pad right to the paper. Okay, now this will go right here. And just leaves a small margin around the edge. Okay, so that will be the way I do each page. Now I'll show you one more time on page 2. See the 1/2 inch score? We're just going to taper from the score line out. I like to cut from the score line out. I'm always worried if I cut from here in, I'll cut into my score, and I don't want to do that because then it leaves a hole in the corner of your page. So this is page 2. So we'll turn it over this way. Apply some adhesive. And then I need to clean the tip of this and refill my bottle. I split my thumbnail, and I'm trying to keep it free of anything, and I've got ink all over my hands, so I have to be careful what I do because I've been inking all these pages this morning. Okay. Now once again it's going to go on the left side. Just line it up with the top and the bottom right along that edge. Press it into place. And then you'll have your designer paper for underneath. Like so. Okay, so that's the way we're going to do that. Alright, I just wanted to show that to you real quick before I go any farther. And then I'll get everything else cut and we'll finish this up. Alright, thanks guys. Okay guys, I have cut my inserts and matted them. And I do it this way simply because if I stand it up this way and allow a little space between each page, like it will be in the album, then I can pretty much get an idea of how big I want my spine to be. See, this is almost 2 inches, so I'm going to make my spine 2.5, and my album covers will be 6.5 by 6.5. And my chipboard piece for the spine will be 6.5 by 2.5. And here's what I've done so far. I've put mats in the pockets. I have covered the pages. I did put a mat here for a photo. I just used one of the cut-aparts for a tuck spot, and I have 2 mats under that, a plain pink one, and then the gray one, and I just added a sticker to it. And I added the little love sticker, and this is all out of the collection. Now, I haven't done a lot of embellishing so far, but I just wanted to give you an idea of where I was at. So that's the back side of page 1. Here's page 2. Also has a couple of tags in the pockets, and I will add something here because I think that's just a little bit too plain. And then we have this one. I haven't done any more with the rest of these. I've just added to the pockets. So there's 3. On page 4, I thought I would put this little pocket here, and it's just got a little tag. This is actually one of the card sets that comes from, I think it's Hobby Lobby. It has envelopes and cards in the set, and I just embellished the card for photos and put it in the envelope, and I thought I would add that one to there. And I believe it's Hobby Lobby. Let me see. Yes, these are, yes, they're Paper Studios, so they did come from Hobby Lobby. And it's just envelopes and cards. And there are 12 to a package for $3, which isn't bad at all. So I still have a few of those left. So I'm trying to use some of what I have already accumulated in my stash. I did find these 2 ribbons that'll work perfectly that are from Tamra that came in one of my kits I didn't use, and I do have some pink, so I'll probably pull that out too. So there's the back side of that one. There's the last page, and what I thought I would do with the last one is to put this envelope like so, and this is with the mini envelope board. I got it from Tamra a couple weeks ago, and I haven't used it yet, and I just opened it this morning, and it's the cutest little thing. And then I was going to layer this envelope this way, so this one will hold this tuck down, and then I was just going to glue this one shut and put it here to hold that flap down, and I thought that would be cute on the last page. But anyway, that's my thinking so far. I still have a lot of cut-aparts and things that I can use, and I have the stickers. So I'm going to leave you on your own to finish embellishing your album. When you do finish it, please tag me when you post a picture. I love to see what everybody creates. I haven't decided just yet what I'm going to put on my front cover, but I will do a walkthrough at the beginning prior to the tutorial so you can see the finished product. Okay, thanks guys for joining me, and I will see you with the walkthrough. Bye.